Hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible? Hello, good evening, everyone. Hello, am I audible? Please confirm in the chat box if I'm audible or not. So I think it's time we start our session for today. So hello everyone, very warm welcome to you all like for today's webinar. So we are truly grateful for the overwhelming response and appreciate each and every one of you for joining us today. I'm Dr. Neha Joshi and I'm delighted to be here with you, talking about my academic journey. It began with a PhD in geology So I have specialization in earthquake studies in the Himalayas, and I successfully defended my PhD in the year 2020 at Kumaon University, Nainital. And throughout my PhD, I was a part of MOUS funded project in Institute of Seismological Research, Gandhinagar, Gujarat, and that was under the guidance of Dr. Girish Chandra Kothari and Professor Charusi Pant. So, following that, I pursued a postdoctoral position in Germany, further expanding my expertise in the field. And over the years, I have contributed to 10 research articles to internationally recognized peer-reviewed journals, and I have spent 9 to 10 years working extensively with GIS softwares, including QGIS, ArcGIS, Surfer, and Global Mapper. So, in the year 2023, I, along with my colleague, we founded Quest GIS, and initiative dedicated to providing both paid and free GIS training through online and on-site courses. So these programs have proven invaluable for students, for um, professionals, for researchers, and for industry professionals, and they have empowered them with essential geospatial skills. And the response has been incredible. So we are really thankful to every one of them. And many of our past participants have also successfully carved out careers in industry and academia. So their positive feedback continues to inspire us, and you can find some of the testimonials on our website, which is right here in this. If you scroll down the page, you will find it here. So there is an announcement that I want to make at this point before we begin our session. So we are starting a course, we are launching a course from June 3rd, 2025, which will be about advanced geospatial analysis using QGIS, Python, and Google Earth Engine. So today's webinar will give you a glimpse into automation within GIS and its transformative impact. So if you are eager to dive deeper into workflow automation, advanced spatial analysis, and Python scripting along with Google Earth Engine, so I highly encourage all of you to enroll in this 1 month long course for hands-on learning. We will talk about this course later in the later part of this webinar. So I think it's time we begin our session for today. We talk about the automation and what we are here for. Okay, so I'll switch off the camera while we are doing the processing, as it is going to hide some important part of the screen. So I'll just switch off the camera, and I hope I'm audible to everyone. Okay, so let's go to presentation quickly. So let's get started. So we all know, like, we are living in the world of AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. So we all know what automation can do for our day-to-day life, and how it can be useful for us. But what about GIS? Okay, or what about geospatial analysis? Why do we require automation in geospatial analysis? So geospatial automation, it has transformed the way we handle spatial data, making workflows more efficient. Okay, so yeah, and scalable and accurate. Traditionally, if you have worked with any of the GIS softwares till date, then you might have noticed that GIS tasks often, require manual processing, and which can be very time consuming, right? And prone to human error and difficult, because you have to repeat the same processes again and again with the large number of data sets. For example, if you just have to prepare a watershed, let's say simple example, you have to prepare a watershed for some area, for one area. Okay, so you know how it can be done, and just with 4 to 5 steps you can do that. But what if you have to repeat the same process for thousands of basins? Okay, so you have thousands of basins and you have to repeat the same process. So will you be going for the manual method again and again, or will you be comfortable in creating a workflow once in the starting of your work, and then using the same workflow, same automation, same model to repeat the process when you have to work with the large data sets? Okay, so of course, if you want to save your time, if you want to save the proneness of the human error, and if you want your large data sets to be processed very efficiently, then you will definitely go with the automation. So automation, it resolves the challenges by these challenges by streamlining complex operations. It reduces our workload and it ensure reproducible results, right? So the reproducible results can be done very efficiently for when you have larger data set. Okay, so basically, how automation can be beneficial in different fields, because our audience comes from different backgrounds. They are either students, they are either earlier career professionals, they are researchers and academics, and they are coming from industry. So how these automation processes can be useful for them? Okay, so for students, if you can learn efficient GIS workflows early, it can make your research and project work smoother. And you can develop industry relevant automation skills for career advancement. Okay, nowadays, if you look at the job descriptions in GIS industry, they are looking for Python. At least you should have basic Python skills. Why Python? Because it helps you in automating your workflows, because there are a lot of data, there are petabytes of data present around you, and that you have to process. And if you go through the manual processing, it won't be helpful. You just need automation skills, and if you want to be ahead of your peers. Okay, and if you are in research and academics, then you know what the importance of data automation. Okay, because that will accelerate your data analysis for maybe environmental monitoring, if you're working with hydrological studies, and for urban planning. So it also improves the accuracy in large scale geospatial projects with automated modeling techniques. Okay, and of course, the industry professionals, they can scale their operations efficiently, they can reduce manual data processing time, and they can improve decision making by integrating this AI driven GIS workflows into projects. Okay, so everything with just with the automation, if you are good at automation, you can be very ahead of your colleagues or your peers in the industry. Okay, so how because we are talking about the automation, the power of automation using QGIS. As QGIS is a open source software, many of us think that okay, because it may not have such such powerful techniques, but it is there. But how you can achieve these technique, how automation can be achieved in QGIS? So there are four ways in which you can achieve it. First is your processing modeler. Second is your PyQGIS, Python in QGIS. Okay, so there is a batch processing and there is QGIS plugins. Okay, so by leveraging automation tools like QGIS Model Designer, okay, Python scripting, and let's say batch processing and QGIS plugin and other external things like Google Earth Engine. So GIS professionals, if you are a GIS professional, you can automate data classification, hydrological modeling, and change detection. You can also perform time series analysis and change. You can identify the changes among other processes. So, in today's webinar, we will be dealing with the processing modeler. Okay, I will take a very simple example using which we will be using processing modeler to perform that. But first, we will contrast our traditional methods. So first, I will show you how the same thing can be done using traditional method, and then we will see how it can be done with the automated workflows to demonstrate how automation improves accuracy and time efficiency. Okay, so our live hands-on session will guide you through using QGIS Model Designer, in which our project will be to extract normalized difference vegetation values of cropland pixels from the LULC map. So we will have two maps, two rasters. One will be of land use, land cover classification of some particular area. Okay, and there will be one another raster which will be normalized difference vegetation index. Okay, so using both the rasters, our task will be to first identify the cropland, the pixels that are that represents cropland. Okay, and for that cropland pixels we will identify the variation of or the range of NDVI values. Okay, because that is helpful, that is a powerful application that we are going to do in environmental and agricultural analysis. Okay, it's a very important for people working with environmental and agricultural analysis for climate change, etc. Okay, so this is maybe this will be a small exercise, but you will definitely understand the power of automation in QGIS. Okay, so the steps that will be involved here will be, just a moment. Yes, so the steps involved will be, first we will reproject our raster. Okay, I'm talking about the manual and the automation process. Okay, so we will first reproject our raster, we will resample it, we will use some raster pixels to point processing and then extract by attributes, we will align those raster, and then finally we will sample our raster values. Okay, so what will be the input and output we will see in our exercise. Okay, so yeah, now what is a model? Model is simply you give the input. Okay, and then that input is being processed in some due time, and then there will be an output. So if you give a good input, you get a good output. Okay, if you give the garbage input, then you get the garbage output. Okay, that's it. That's what how simply your model will work. Okay, and yeah, okay, then let's dive in and unlock the power of automation in geospatial analysis. So in this exercise, we aim to automate the process, as I said. Um, I'll just quickly open the QGIS now. Okay, and NDVI values. Okay, let me load the raster first. I'll simply introduce all of you to the QGIS interface. Maybe some of you are new to the new to this QGIS. Okay, so this is the basic interface that you get when you install the QGIS, and this is your workspace. This is your panels, layers panel and browser panel. So whatever layers you load, that can be shown here in the list way. Okay, in the list form, and here is your working space where you will get the loaded layers. Okay, so let's first start with saving our project. So first, I always recommend that you always save your project first, because that helps you in getting your layers very quickly. Okay, so for that, go to save as. Okay, and just go to some folder, because in this folder I will share this data set with all of you after completing the webinar. Okay, you can use the same data sets and perform the analysis, and then you will see how you can use the same technique in your own work. Okay, so I'll simply save my project here, and I'll call it model, or let's say model 1. Okay, I'll quickly save it. Okay, now what happened after, just after saving our project in our browser panel, we will get project home. Okay, so if you're looking for how to looking for some basic techniques, you want to learn basic techniques in QGIS, you can go to my YouTube channel. Okay, the same channel in which we are streaming live. You can go there and you will find a lot of videos which will be focused on the basic operations in QGIS. Okay, so here we have data set. Okay, so you see, as I said, we have to extract the NDVI values corresponding to two cropland pixels from land use land cover raster. Okay, so we have to, for example, let's say we have to perform the same thing for 3 years. For example, 2017, 2021, and 2024. Okay, so for that, of course, we require 2017 LULC raster. Okay, I'll just drag and drop it. This is my land use land cover map, which I have taken from ISRI Living Atlas. Okay, you can also download the data from here. From for any area, you can download the. This is your Sentinel-2 10-meter land use land cover map. Okay, so I have downloaded this data and clipped it for my area of interest. Okay, and I need corresponding NDVI for 2017. Okay, for 2017 I'll just load it like this. So these are two different rasters that we have got in our layers panel. Okay, so for this yeah, and yes, what about NDVI? So this NDVI is sourced from Google Earth Engine repository. Okay, I have taken the help of Google Earth Engine coding and loaded and downloaded this data to my drive. So because these two datas are differing in spatial resolution. Okay, if you see the pixel sizes of both these rasters, they are quite different, right? So they are quite different. You can see the pixels are quite larger here, but in case of LULC, the pixel sizes are quite small. Okay, and they also differ in their projection. They also differ in their extent. Okay, so there is a slight difference between the extents of these two rasters. So you will come to know about all these things. If you are new to this subject, you will come to know about these things later in this um, exercise. Okay, so it is now it is crucial to standardize them before we derive the accurate results. Okay, so we will perform some analysis in order to achieve our objective, which was to obtain the NDVI values for cropland pixels. Okay, in simple words, you have to extract the NDVI values. This is normalized difference vegetation index values for the pixels that represent cropland in your LULC map. Okay, so before what is NDVI? So NDVI is a numerical indicator that is helpful in assessing the presence and health of green vegetation. Okay, so for agriculture, if you talk about the agriculture, it helps farmers to monitor crop health, estimate yields, and optimize irrigation and fertilizer applications. Okay, and for if you're working with the climate change, then NDVI can be used to study the impact of climate change on vegetation and ecosystem. Okay, so there are so many applications in hydrology, etc. Okay, now let's start our processing. Okay, so our workflow, as I said, this is going to be our workflow here. First, we will reproject our raster. Okay, we want our raster to be in the projected coordinate system. So my NDVI raster, if let's first compare the properties of both the rasters. Okay, now you see the extent. Okay, there are some numbers in lakhs, right? And now if you look at the pixel size, it is 499.67, approximately 500 meters, right? And if you look at the coordinate reference system, it is 32645. Okay, so with respect to this, with respect to our NDVI, we are going to make these changes in my LULC. Okay, so first I'll use my processing toolbox here. Okay, I hope I'm not too fast. You can let me know if I'm too fast. Okay, so in my processing toolbox, we have number of processings that you can perform in QGIS that you will get in its licensed counterpart softwares. You get everything here. Okay, So it's a very powerful open source software. So you just have to search for it. You just first type reproject. Okay, so first we will reproject it. So reproject, in raster projections you will find this warp or reproject. Double click on it and we will reproject our LULC. You see this 10 meter is the spatial resolution and 4326 is the coordinate reference system. Okay, and yeah, this is the our EPSG, okay, which is quite different from the NDVI that we saw. Okay, and here our target CRS will be 45 north because the study area, which is in East Champaran, it falls in the 45 north zone. Okay, this is going to be our resampling method because we are reprojecting, so our pixels all will also be resampled. Okay, they will also get resampled, and here you can save your output. Okay, just go and save to file. You have to pay attention to what we are doing here because the same process we are going to define in our model. Okay, we are going to define everything as it is in our model. So you just have to pay attention what exactly is happening, and when we are creating the model, it won't be possible, it won't be much possible for me to get back to these processes and explain everything again. Okay, so you just pay attention here. Okay, so and if you think I'm too fast, you can let me know. So in dataset, if you go to, I have created one folder, output. Okay, I'll give it a name, reprojected LULC, which is 45 north EPSG. Okay, yeah, and then after click on run. Okay, then close it, and here we have this reprojected layer. Okay, click on zoom to layer, and then if you want to see, okay, I think let's skip this for now. And then our next step was to resample it. Okay, so with resampling, what we are going to do, we are going to change the size of the pixels. Okay, so I'll simply type resampling. Okay, resampling. Double click on it, and we want to select the reprojected grid. Okay, and because we are upscaling, we are increasing the size. Okay, we are increasing the size of the pixel, so we are going to use the upscaling method as nearest neighbor. Okay, and which is also what we saw here. And cell size, we are going to keep it as 500, and this is our resampled because we want it to be changed as like NDVI. Okay, so let's give it a name, resampled LULC and 500 meters. Click on save. Yeah, simply run it. Okay, close it. And you also have to understand like how much time each of this processing is taking. Okay, and what if you have to repeat the same process, same manual method, if you only had the option of doing it manually because you don't know how automation works, then how much time it can take from your daily life, right? It is not time efficient to perform all the analysis for thousands of data sets that you have, right? So yeah, now this is my resampled data. Okay, this is my resampled raster which has the pixel size of 500 meters. If you want to measure it, then you can use this icon here, scale, and just check it. Okay, so this is approximately 500 meters. Okay, I'll close it, and then now you see we have both the rasters, which this is my resampled LULC 500 meters and this is my NDVI 500 meters, right? So now we have both the rasters in the same projected coordinate system and having the same spatial resolution. Okay, now the thing is we have to check whether they are properly aligned or not. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's change the color of one of the rasters. Okay, I'll change the color of NDVI. I have just dragged it downward. I'll change the color using the layer styling here. Okay, and then from single band to gray to single band pseudo color. Okay, so now you see this is my NDVI. I have changed the color for it. Okay, and this is my resampled LULC. Okay, so when we try to just let's check whether these pixels are properly aligned or not. Okay, so I'll use this transparency of resampled LULC. I'll select this resampled LULC and I'll go to this option called transparency. And how do you get this? This is my layer styling panel, which I get from clicking on this open the layer styling panel button. Okay, and let's zoom in to any of these places. Okay, and I'll decrease the transparency, and you will notice, see, these pixels are not properly aligned, although they are of similar pixel sizes, similar what we say projected coordinate system, but still they are not aligned. Maybe due to this process, or maybe you see these data sets comes from different sources, they have different satellites capturing this data. Maybe because of that there is a difference in the extent. Okay, there is a difference in the extent of these two rasters. If you really want to check the extent, you can go here and go to properties. Okay, and check the extent here. Okay, so let me copy this and I'll open the notepad just to make it clear with all of you that there is a difference between the extent. Okay, so this is my extent for resampled. Okay, let's minimize this and go to properties, and this is the extent for NDVI. Okay, I'm simply copying and pasting it in a notepad. Now you see, you can clearly see the difference between the extent of these two rasters. Okay, and this is going to be our next step to adjust it, because we want our cropland pixels to be exactly at the same place where my NDVI should be. Okay, or where my cropland should be. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply export my NDVI. You can do with any one of these. Okay, don't worry about it. You can align one with respect to another. Okay, NDVI with respect to LULC, or LULC with respect to NDVI. I'm just using, because I have already done the processing with LULC. Okay, I'm at this step, I'm going to use NDVI to change its extent. Okay, then click on save as. So we will give it name, let's say NDVI aligned. Okay, click on save, and here calculate. So whenever you have your two rasters and you have such a situation, they are in the same projected coordinate system, and they have same pixel size, even then they do not have they are not aligning properly, you can use the same technique that I'm using here. Okay, and then from here layer you have to you have to tell here that you have to what extent you want to use. Okay, so I want to use the resampled 500 meters LULC extents to align my NDVI. Okay, I'll simply click on OK. Now this is my NDVI aligned. Okay, now what I will do, I will simply change the layer styling again, single band pseudo color. Okay, now you will notice that they both are aligned properly. Okay, now if I change the transparency, there is no difference. Okay, so I hope this is clear with all of you. The concept is clear with all of you. Okay, now our next step, as we said, we want the pixels that only represent our cropland in this entire area. Okay, so for that we have to go to our website from where we downloaded our data, and we will click on this eye icon here, and we'll click here. Actually, this is the same page. Okay, and here you see our class number 5, or all the pixels that have 5 value represent the crops. Okay, and this is what we require. So what we will do here, we will first change, we will use raster pixels to points. Okay, raster pixels to points. So which raster do we require now? We require resampled LULC. Okay, we require because we want to calculate the pixels that have cropland. Okay, so it will give us the points. It will change the pixels to points for all the classes. Okay, then simply run it because we do not want this as output, so we are not going to save it. Okay, so we have got our vector points. You see, these are all the points representing all the classes, all the land use, land cover present in this map. You see, from 1 to 11, it will have all the classes 1 to 11. But now we just want the classes that all the pixels or the vector points that only represents our class number 5. Okay, because why? Because class number 5 is cropland. Okay, so what I will do, I will use one more processing here that is called extract by attribute. Okay, extract by attribute. So here I'll use vector points, and in value, okay, we saw there is one column, okay, which is called value, and in value I want only 5. Okay, because only those pixels will represent my cropland. Okay, so if you want, you can save this as geopackage file, which will be called as cropland points. Click on save and then click on run. Okay, simply close it, close the bottom layer, and you see now we have all the pixels that represent cropland. So how do you confirm that? Let me close the NDVI and put it on the top, and this is my resampled LULC. Okay, so I will change the layer styling of land use, land cover, okay, from single band gray to paletted and unique values. I'll classify it, and you see my 5 number class represents my cropland. Okay, so let's see if these pixels are in the same green color or not, and you can now verify it. So all these points that has been generated represents the cropland. Okay, I hope now you are satisfied at this point, till this point. Okay, now our task, see, one of our aim is completed, like we have extracted the points that represent our cropland from the entire land use, land cover. Okay, so now what we want, our final result should have, so there should be some method or some processing that helps us in extracting the NDVI values from this NDVI raster, right? NDVI raster, and it can extract the NDVI values from that, right? So there is one processing which is called sample raster values. Okay, sample raster values. So sample raster values, and this is my cropland points that I require, right? And using these cropland points, I want to extract my NDVI values. Okay, here you can change the name NDVI for cropland. Okay, and this is, we are doing this for the year 2017. You should remember that. Okay, save to file and NDVI for cropland. Let's save it like this. Okay, then save it and click on run. Okay, now let me close this, and let's open this vector file, which I will open by right clicking on this layer and then by going to open attribute table. Okay, now you see we have all the values 5, and for which we have all the corresponding NDVI values. Okay, so these are our absolute NDVI values, these are not normalized ones. Okay, and if you want to normalize it, there is one formula that you can apply, and that will give you the range between -1 to +1. Okay, so I have not taken that part. I have just simply used the absolute values of NDVI. Okay, so this is our final result where we wanted the same we where we wanted to extract the NDVI values for croplands, okay, for the year 2017. Now imagine that you have to perform the same process. It took us approximately let's say 30 minutes, right? The entire process I was doing in a normal speed. Of course, see, when I do not have to explain, I will be doing it in very less time, but it will all it may take 10 to 15 minutes for just one calculating things for 1 year, okay, if you are very practiced in QGIS, okay. But now you see, if you now you have to perform the same steps. If you are new to this particular software or GIS, now you have to remember all the steps again and have to again perform all these steps for 2021 and 2024, right? So uh, it will be really time consuming to perform all these steps. This is just 3 years that we have taken. Suppose you have to perform the same analysis for 10 years, for 100 years, for 50 years. Okay, you cannot do it manually every time. You cannot perform all these steps manually every time, saving things and etc etc. Okay, so it's better we learn how to create models and how to automate our process so that our work becomes easy and efficient. Okay, so for that, what we will do, we will create, now we will start learning how to create the model. Okay, so this we have used 2017 data, right? We will do the same thing, similar thing here, whatever we have done here. I'm using the model, okay. And then in later stages we just have to change our input for 2021, for 2024, or whatever it is, okay, and it will just process it in less than 10 seconds. Sometimes it just take 20 seconds or 30 seconds, okay, not more than that. So how do you get the model? First, you have to go to processing and there is a model designer. Okay. So how did I get it? Processing and then model designer. Okay. So before that, I'm going to remove everything other than my original data. Okay. I'm going to remove everything. I selected everything and I'm going to remove all of them. So this was my original data. Okay, that I will keep it here and repeat the process using the model. Okay, making model may take some time because this is just for, if you are doing anything for the first time, it will definitely take time. Okay, so don't worry about the time that you are spending for the first time, because you are learning. It may take some time. It may take some understanding of the inputs or the parameters that you are using. Okay, but before you create model, you have to be very you have better understanding of the manual processes. What are the processing present? What are the algorithms present in QGIS to achieve your target? Okay, to achieve whatever you want to whatever your aim is. Okay, so that is the important thing here. Okay, so this is the interface of my model designer. Okay, here we have inputs, here we have algorithms. Okay, so whatever inputs we were giving in the processing while we were reprojecting, so we were giving LULC as our input. Okay, so that LULC was our raster. Okay, so whatever input, whatever type of input you are giving, that comes under inputs. Okay, for example, in this case, our input will be raster layer. Okay, if you scroll down here, you will find raster layer. So for that, you just have to drag and drop it. Okay, just give it a description and write it raster. Click on OK. Okay, so you will get such a rectangle displayed on your screen. Okay, so whatever type of input you want to give, you will or whatever processing you want to do with whatever type of input, that you will get in the inputs. Okay, next comes our processing. So of course we want to define the raster. Okay, we want to do everything with in this exercise. We want to, our input will be raster. Whatever we are doing with the rasters. Okay, so what exactly we are doing with the rasters? Okay, so I'll just keep it here. Okay, our first step was, again, let's go to our PPT and our first step was reproject. We were reprojecting. Okay, so for that, because it is our algorithm that we searched here in the processing toolbox, these are all our algorithms. Okay, so you will find all the processing algorithms under algorithms. Okay, you can search for them. First is reproject. Okay, reproject. So this processing we have used for GDAL. This is var reproject. Okay, simply drag and drop it. Now here is a window where you if you remember, when we did it manually, we defined all these parameters. Okay, but the difference here is we have to define the input layer. Right now we have if you could understand that here we haven't defined any raster. It is just we have said, because we had two rasters, we didn't define like which raster we want. Okay, which raster here we have to input. Right now we haven't described anything about it. So here we have to define our input layer. Okay, or the layer that will be used as an input to reproject. Okay, so that will be my algorithm output. Okay, sorry, that will be my model input. Okay, so whatever input we are giving here, that should be reprojected. This is what it meant. This is what it means here. Okay, whatever input we are giving, we have to reproject it. Okay, so we will use, for reprojection, we will use model input as our input layer. Okay, now in the same way we have to define the target CRS like we did before, 45 north. Okay, the nearest neighbor, everything we will keep as it is same. And if you want to save this um, this output, if you want to save the output of this algorithm, you can give it a name here, reprojected LULC 45 north. Okay, you can give it any name you want. Just copy this name, click on OK. Okay, so this is how you get. So let me explain what does this mean. So here we have given input. Okay, input of any raster. This var reproject is taking it in. Okay, taking as an input and giving output as my result, which I will be saving in my folder. Okay, so if I double click here, and here we have to give it a path. Okay, whatever path you want to give, you can give it here. 45 north, just type model. Okay, just to differentiate that we have done. Or let's do one thing. Let's create one more folder which will be called as output model. Okay, and I'll remove this model suffix here and then simply save it. Click on OK. Okay, so this is how our simple one line model looks like. Okay, now let's add one more line to it. So next processing was resampling. Okay, so again we will search in algorithm for resampling. Okay, so here we have resampling. So in resampling, you know what grids we have to select. We want reprojected layer to be resampled. Okay, we want reprojected layer to be resampled. So here we are going to use algorithm output, right? We want to use the output of this algorithm. Okay, now let me keep it in middle. Reprojected from, now you see, as soon as you selected using algorithm output, it gave you reprojected from algorithm. Of course we want this, right? Whatever layer gets reprojected, we want it to be resampled. Okay, and everything will remain same. So here we have to change the nearest neighbor. This we have already done. Okay, and cell size we will keep it as 500 meters, and let's give it a name, resampled LULC 500 meters. Click on OK. Just copy this name because I want to save the same name. Okay, same name to file. Double click on it and give it a name. Okay, click on OK. Right? So I hope this is two-line model that you have understood. So first there is an input, okay, that will get reprojected, and the output of this reprojected gets resampled here. Okay, the only thing that you have to understand here, the way we are defining these inputs, okay, the way we are defining inputs at every step, because other things, otherwise everything is same that we have done before. Okay, this you have to understand very clearly how it is done. Okay, so next step will be to, what we have to do, we have to now raster, we have to get raster pixels to points. Okay, we will align the rasters in the later stage. Okay, first we will define raster pixels to, now because we have resampled till this point, everything is resampled. Okay, now we want to extract the pixels of entire LULC raster. Okay, so my input here raster layer will be my algorithm output, right? And which algorithm? Resampled. Resampled algorithm I will take here as my input, right? I hope this is clear with all of you. Now we will take this as input. Okay, so I don't want to save this as my output because this is not useful. Okay, then click on OK. Okay, so is there any question till this point? Should I repeat any step here till this point? Is there any question? Is there any confusion till this point, like what exactly is happening here? You can write that in the chat box and my colleague will let me know. Just write yes or no. Okay, I think there is not any confusion at this point. So we will proceed further. Okay, so now we are extracting the pixel raster pixels and we are converting them into points. Okay, now next point was, because at this point, if you remember, all my pixels will be extracted for all the classes, whether it is a built up, it's a barren land, it's a water body, whatever pixels I have, that all everything will be extracted. Okay, but if you remember, we just need cropland pixels. Okay, we just require cropland pixels. So for that, what we have to do, we have to do extract by attribute. Okay, extract by attribute. So extract by attribute, here what we have it, what we will take, we will take algorithm output. Okay, so because you see, the we are using now, again we will use algorithm output, because the only, because whatever process we are doing earlier, that only we require in our next process. Okay, so algorithm output, and which algorithm? Of course, vector points from raster pixels to points. Okay, and my selection attribute will be value. Okay, I require value. Okay, and that value should be equal to 5, right? And they will be my cropland points. Okay, cropland points. Then click on OK. Okay, Now you see this is going out from our screen. We are not able to see the entire model. For that you have to click on zoom full. Okay, and then it will adjust it within the screen. And also you can adjust them manually. If you want, you can adjust them like this. Okay, extract by attribute. And next is, because now we have extracted our cropland points, now we need to go to our, now we need to check our ndvi, because when we did the manual processing, we saw that our ndvi and lulc, when we have resampled, they both do not align, right? They both do not align. So now comes, we align both of them. Okay, so for that I will use align raster. Okay, in align raster we will use input layer, okay, as value. Okay, because here we are using another raster that we have loaded, so we do not require any model input, because model input will be lulc. Okay, we do not require algorithm output, we just require a value. Okay, and that value will be our ndvi. Okay, ndvi. Right. So this is nearest neighbor, and we do not have to change anything here. So reference layer, yes, this is what we have to change, and this we will keep it as algorithm output. Okay, and using what reference we are, adjusting it, we are using the resampling grids, right? Whatever we have resampled for 500 meters, because that is already reprojected, so we will use this as our reference layer. Okay, everything we will keep it as same, and then we will give it a name, aligned ndvi. Okay, aligned ndvi, and then click on ok. And then you see, if I adjust it here, it will it has been linked with resampling, because this is what we have taken as our reference layer, right? So let's keep it here so that it becomes clear with us, like what exactly is happening here, how our model is going to run, right? So I hope this step was not confusing. And let's save it in the folder. Double click on it and click on save to file, and then give it a name, um, aligned ndvi. Okay, click on save. Okay, then click on ok. And if you want, you can also test your model by validating it. Okay, so our model is valid till this point. Okay, and now when we have aligned our ndvi, our final task is to sample our NDVI raster, okay, or NDVI aligned raster using the cropland points. Okay, so next what I will do, I will click here and then use sample. I'm doing the same process. If you remember, if you can understand, I'm doing the same process with that we have done manually, but here we are defining our inputs and outputs beforehand, before we put, before we give it some input. Okay, before we give it some raster values or rasters, we are just defining a model, and in the same way it will run and give us, and should give us the output. Okay, let's see if it works properly or not. Okay, sample raster values, next step. Okay, and here we will use algorithm output, and that should be extracted attributes, right? That should be here, extracted attributes from algorithm extract by attributes. Of course we want cropland points. Okay, and then our raster layer will be algorithm output again, and that should be my aligned raster, that should be my aligned ndvi that I want to sample. Okay, so my final result will be ndvi crops. Okay, 2017, let's give it this name. Okay, and I'll use the same name for my layer to be saved. Click on OK, and again click on zoom full so that we can see our entire model. Okay, now you see it has linked, these are the links that is showing us what input it is taking and what output it is giving. Okay, so this also helps you in understanding, this also gives you an idea what exactly is happening. Okay, we will revise it quickly. So double click here and save to file, give it the same name, click on save, click on OK. Okay. So what is happening here is that first we will define our input, okay? And that input will be reprojected. That input can be anything, any raster, 2017, 21, 2024, or anything, okay? That should be reprojected and that should be resampled, and we will use a resample to get the pixels, and using those pixels we just want cropland pixels, and we want to align our NDVI raster. Okay, even if they both are aligned, you make sure that you align them again. Okay, and then we will use the sample raster value processing to get the NDVI values. This is what exactly we did using our manual processing. Okay, and this is what we have defined here through model. Okay, so let's get back here. Okay, perfect. And here what we have done, we have taken yeah, I think the output path is correct everywhere. Let's check it again if the output path is correct or not, where it's going to save. Okay, so save to file. Here we forgot to give it an output, so while simply run it, cropland points, click on save, click on OK. Okay, here we have defined it correct, and yeah, this also looks fine. Okay, then it's time we test our model by running it. Let's see if it gives us the correct results or not. Okay, you do that by clicking on this run model. Okay, so our input is LULC 10 meters, right? Our raster input, this what we have to change here to 10 meters, because this is what it's going to reproject, resample, and everything that's going to happen with LULC. Okay, and then simply run it. Okay, it is completed. Close it, go back here and see whether you have got your results correct or not. Okay, now we see we have NDVI crops 2017. Okay, and if I open its attribute table, I can see all the values, right? All the values are there for my cropland, and this is what we wanted, right? So I hope the use of model is clear with all of you. Okay, so now if I have raster for 2021, if I load my another raster, another pair of raster, let's say 2021, now I have to process everything again. Okay, let's say I have to process everything again for 2007, sorry, 2021. So what are the changes that I have to make in my model? Okay, first thing that we have to understand, so now I hope you have understood. It will be very difficult to do it again, or it will be not difficult, but it will be time consuming if you do it by manual processing. Okay, better you prepare your workflows. Okay, it's it just take time. Okay, and what changes you have to make when you are using different inputs? First, you have to change here the align raster. Okay, from NDVI this to you have to change it to 2021. Click on OK. Okay, and here we will just give input. Okay, now you can, what you can do, you can simply change the names. Let's do it. Let's change this 2021. Okay, and if you have another path that you want to create, okay, that you also can do. 2021, you simply have to change the paths. That's it. Okay, so that it doesn't overwrite our earlier results. So whatever path it was, whatever outputs you want to save, you have to change their path. Okay, let me change this to 2021. Click on OK. Okay, let's try running it for 2021. Here LULC 20, from 2017 to 2021, we are repeating the process. If you can understand, here we are repeating the process. Okay, it hasn't changed the name, maybe we forgot to save it. 2021. Okay, just give it a name, 2021, and whatever outputs you want, you can simply save them. Others you can ignore by switching off, deactivating these buttons. Okay, click on run. Let's see how it works. Okay, see, it has completed the entire process for another data set, okay, in less than 10 seconds. Okay, let's see. NDVI crops. Okay, this is for 2021, 2021, and 2021. Okay, let me give it the coordinate reference system, and you see we have got NDVI, my final result NDVI crops for, okay, we have to change the name here as well. This is my 2021 layer. Okay, you can simply do the same process for 2024 as well. Just load the 2024 raster and make these changes, change the names. Okay, let's do that. I'll simply remove the results of my 2021 because I don't want to create any sort of confusion here. Okay, and let's remove everything. Okay, now what you have to do, you just have to load 2024 raster. Okay, and go to your model and just first change the align raster from here to 2024 NDVI. Okay, click on OK and then input. Then run it simply, and this will be my input. Okay, here you can change the name to 2024, 2024, and you will realize how quickly that has been done, right? How quickly we have created the same workflow, same results for another pair of data set. Okay, click on run. Okay, this is completed. Close it and let's get back here, and simply if it doesn't pick up the coordinate reference system, just give it the same coordinate reference system that we have been using so far. Okay, and you see this is our cropland for 2024. Okay, now you can analyze the changes in the number of points. Maybe in 2024 the cropland has increased or decreased. Okay, whatever changes, whatever change detection you want to do, you can take it to the Excel sheet, or interpolate it. There is some interpolation that you can do. And if you want that interpolation to be in the repetitive process for every year, then you can add it in the same way that we have done. Okay, this is the simplest model. This is a very simple model, but has a very powerful application. Is very, very important. Okay, so when you are doing this automation for your multi-year analysis. Okay, so when running the same analysis across multiple years, for example, we have assessing cropland NDVI trends for 2010, 2015, 2020, and 2025 maybe. So automatic automation drastically reduces manual effort that you might have seen. Otherwise, you might have to repeat the same process again and again. So without automation, the traditional method, you would manually repeat each extraction step for every year. So there will be higher risk of human error in processing these raster data sets, and it will be time consuming, especially when handling large data sets. Okay, and with automation, this workflow, as you also observed, that it runs in a single click. You just prepared the workflow, you design the workflow once, and and for all the years it just ran in a single click, and you can apply the same logic to all the years. So standardized methodology ensures consistent results across data sets, so works seamlessly for multiple time periods, making trend analysis much easier. So it enables historical comparison for tracking vegetation or land use changes dynamically. Okay, so if we talk about the application and interpretation of the analysis that we have done, okay, so when we are extracting NDVI values for cropland pixels from LULC raster across different years, it has very important applications in agriculture, environmental monitoring, and climate studies. Okay, so first, for crop health monitoring, and NDVI helps in assessing vegetation vigor and crop stress over time, right? And by analyzing the NDVI trends across years, farmers can predict the fluctuations in yield, and they can optimize their fertilization and irrigation strategies. So when there is this LULC changes and there is agricultural expansion, so you can compare NDVI values for over years, over different years. You can identify the cropland whether it is expanding or whether there is a reduction. Okay, so nowadays we usually see that people are leaving farming. Okay, that you can also detect just using this simple analysis for each of the districts. Okay, so there is a land use change, and there is drought and climate impact assessment. So NDVI time series analysis can reveal drought effects on cropland. So how you interpret like multi-year NDVI trends now next comes next. Okay, so if you are studying, let's say, groundwater recharge potential, NDVI, if you automate the NDVI cropland extraction over different years, it allows you to monitor vegetation changes, helping assess the impact of land use on hydrological patterns. So if the NDVI is increasing over time, it indicates healthy vegetation growth, improved farming practices, or favorable climate conditions. If it is stable, then it reflects consistent land management, but may require some deeper analysis for some more insights. Okay, so if there is any seasonal change, if it is declining, whatever things are happening, okay, you can do that. So if there are some applications in other domains, so in environmental and hydrological studies, you can use the same approach by comparing multi-year LULC datasets to assess environmental impact. If you are working with urban planning and infrastructure, if you are working in agriculture and forestry that we have already discussed, and disaster management and climate studies, you can apply the same approach. And if you are a geologist or a geomorphologist, then there is a terrain modeling. Okay, you can automate these processes. Okay, you can automate all these processes using the same model preparation, similar model preparation. Of course, the processes will be different. Okay, if you are want to automate the process for watershed delineation, if you want to automate the process for terrain modeling, but yeah, the same type of same algorithm you can search for. Okay, and perform the same thing for larger data sets. You can integrate your remote sensing data here. Okay, you can also in QGIS, you can also integrate the plugins when you are running the model. Okay, so there is more actually there. This is just a glimpse of what we are going to do in our 1 month course, but and there will be so many techniques that you will be learning in this entire 1 month course for automating your workflow. Okay, we will be integrating softwares like Google Earth Engine into our into the Python coding, etc. So if you are if you think that this was powerful, then you must visit our website. And through this I hope through this small exercise you have had a glimpse of the incredible power of automation. This is just the beginning, I can say. QGIS open doors for limitless possibilities in geospatial analysis. So mastering these skills will set you apart and making you highly efficient in the GIS industry. So let me take you to the course page, and if you go to courses, and in upcoming courses you will find the details of our upcoming course. Okay, which is advanced geospatial analysis, and our early bird registrations are closing on 27th May before 10 p.m. You have to register if you want to opt for a discount. Okay, so discounted fees, and our original fees is rupees 4,000. But in if you are a early bird registrations, if you do the early bird registration, you will get a discount of 500 rupees. So this was just, again I would say, this was just a glimpse of what you will be learning. And geospatial technology, as you all know, is at the heart of modern decision making, powering industries like environmental management, urban planning, disaster response. and smart cities. So this is the pillar of digital transformation. So if you are eager to, if you want to fully leverage GIS professionals, you must integrate automation. And if you are looking for a strong career in GIS, you must integrate automation, remote sensing, advanced analytical techniques, skills in QGIS, Python, and Google Earth Engine empowers individuals like you to solve complex spatial changes, making them highly valuable in the industry. So, whether if you are eager to dive deeper into these techniques, don't miss our upcoming course, Advanced Geospatial Analysis with QGIS, Python, and GEE. It is starting from June 3rd, 2025. So, you have, if you want the discounted fees, to you have to register before 27th May, and there is a special discount of 1000 rupees for students, so they just have to pay 2999. Okay, anytime they register, even if they register after 27th May, they just have to submit this piece. And if you are also, if you are going through some financial constraint, then you can also pay the fees in installments. Okay, so don't worry, your financial constraint should not be a foundation for your learning. Okay, so what you get through our classes, and you get the e-certificate, you get quality class recordings, and there will be free data, study material, and multiple assignments for hands-on practice, and step-by-step guidance during the entire course. Even after the course, okay, even our students or participants from the first batch, they are still in contact with us, they come up there with their own projects, and we are always there to help them. Okay, so you get the lifetime access to this recorded videos and WhatsApp group. You can ping us anytime, and even if you have your own projects, we can help you with that. Okay, so there will be one-to-one interaction with the trainer, and I will be your trainer for the entire course. So, yeah, if you're interested, visit the registration page for more details. Don't forget to ping on the given phone number or email ID in case of any query. So, let's meet after on 3rd June if you are interested in joining the course. Okay, so that was all from my side, and that was all about the power of automation. I hope it made you learn more about it. Okay, so let me know just if you have any questions regarding related to this webinar, okay, or related to our upcoming course. So don't forget to ping me on the given phone number. Okay, so on the top of the website, you will find our phone number, and just drop us a message in case you are not able to create the model. If you're facing any problem in creating models, you can ping us, okay, and we can sort that out for you. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining, and that was really nice to interact with all of you. And stay in touch, okay, through the email IDs and the WhatsApp phone number, so that we can build a more stronger community. Okay, and yeah, see you all in the next webinar or maybe in the next training sessions, and we will be interacting live. Thank you everyone. This is the end of the meeting. Thank you so much for joining.